Good morning. Welcome to Horse Talk number 9, Round Penning 101. A round pen is usually a circular enclosure, 50 to 60 feet in diameter. Could be a little smaller, could be a little bigger. But that's supposedly the ideal with a 6-foot tall fence so the horse doesn't get out. This is about 5 to 5.5 feet, and that's fine too. It's important that it's round because it doesn't create any stop gaps. Like if it's square, the horse will have a tendency to go into the square area. So you want to keep it round so you can keep it moving. What do you use a round pen for? When you're starting a horse or a horse you don't know, or you want to take a horse in and get a little bit more respect and leadership, then you put him in a round pen, and you can do anything that you do in a round pen on a lead line. So you don't have to have a round pen. What you can't do on the lead line is turns away from, but that's okay. Other than that, so you're trying to look at the physical aspects of the horse initially and the emotional aspects. Is he a high-strung horse? Is he a lazy horse? And you adjust your energy level when you come into the round pen based on that. So what we're trying to do also is gain respect. Have him look at us, this herd of 2, as a leader, because horses, being herd animals, are always looking for leadership. They follow their lead mare who's earned their respect and leadership. So we're trying to gain leadership and respect. We're trying to get them to think on the left side of their brain, which is the thinking side, not the reaction side, which is the right side. So how do we get respect from a horse? We move their feet forward, left, right, back, up and down. But what you're trying to do here is tell him that you can move his feet, and you can not only move his feet, you move it where you want, when you want, just like a lead mare would do or a senior horse would do. Move him where he wants to move him. So we're using the mentality of the herd to teach them in a round pen to respect us as a herd of 2. Okay, cut it out. So this is, by the way, Sonoma. Sonoma is a 3-year-old gypsy Vanna owned by Blue Ridge Gypsies. She's a beautiful girl, and she's done a little bit of training with me, and she's really good, and she's about to be started here pretty soon on the saddle. She's had the saddle on, and she's really a super little pretty girl. Okay, so in the round pen I want to do several things, but before I do that I want to talk about pressure. Again, pressure is the motivator. Release of pressure is the teacher. You add pressure slowly, you release pressure quickly. And when you add the pressure, add it from a phase, not a lot, to what you need to get him to do what you want him to do, and then release it quickly. Other thing is timing. Timing for a horse is pretty critical. They've got an association of about 5 seconds. So when you are teaching them something like in the round pen, I want them to move. I want them to move off my hand. So when I point, they move. You got 3 to 5 seconds for them to associate the hand with the movement or the initiation of the movement. So I would point, and then pressure is required, ramping it up until they move, then release the pressure. Eventually, they'll go off your hand and know that's what it is. That, when you point your hand, you want them to go in that direction. So that's critical. The other critical portion is driving line. So if you look at the bottom of their neck, right here, there's a driving line. Anything forward of that driving line will move them, will stop them, or turn them around. Anything behind the driving line will move them forward. And when you exert pressure behind the driving line or in front of the driving line, you square off with it and concentrate on the hind quarters when you're driving them forward. Concentrate on the head when you're stopping or turning them around. Okay, so this gives you a good idea to bond and trust with your horse after time too. So once they've got the idea of the round penning and what you want, you bond and trust with them and gain trust with them and love on them. The big thing I see is people in a round pen putting on pressure, and the horse is doing what you want him to do. Say he's in a trot and that's what you want him to do. They put the pressure on, they never take it off. They just keep swinging that rope. You need to release the pressure and relax. Go back to the center, neutral area, and relax and let him know that's what you want him to do. If he starts to come out of that trot, you give pressure in order to get him to go back into that trot. So initially I'm going to point. I'm going to use a stick and string, lead line. It doesn't matter what you use, but something in case you need to exert a little bit more pressure. So initially it's going to be movement in one direction. If he goes to change direction, we will correct him. The second thing will be direction, turning him left and right. The next thing will be turns into, turns away from you. And then lastly, we'll do the hookup, where he's accepted you as the leader, and the follow-on, which means he's basically following you as the lead mare. We can also teach walk, trot, canter, using whatever you want. If it's a verbal, I usually say walk off for a walk, I'll cluck for a trot, and I'll kiss for a canter. And the same principles apply. When you kiss, you got 3 to 5 seconds to put him into that canter so he can associate the kiss with the canter. It's that association that we're talking about. And you want to do it the same way all the time. So you want to be persistent, consistent, the timing we talked about, and you also want to know that every horse learns at a different rate. And then last thing is patience. If you lose patience, then it's time to quit, come back another day. Right, girl? Okay. So we're going to do movement right now. And so I'm going to go back off. I'm going to point in the direction I want it to go, and then 3 to 5 seconds. So I'm going to do this, go behind the driving line, square off on her belly, my belly button on her hindquarters. I'm going to put her into a trot, and I want it to stay in a trot. She avoids that wet area a little bit because she's not wild about that wet area. That's fine. But as you do this, you can sense the horse. Is he high energy, high anxiety, or is he lazy and laid back? You may have to exert more pressure if he's lazy, and then less pressure if he gets, if he's anxious and has a little bit more energy than you want. But right here, I'm squaring off on the belly button, kind of relaxing because I asked for a trot, and she's giving me a trot. So I'm just kind of going sticks down, shoulders down, relaxing in my body. Okay, if I want to, let me just show you. If I want to put her into a canter, my energy level would come up. I would kiss, energy level would come up, so she associates the kiss with the canter. So I'll just do that just to show you. And she goes into a canter. I want to keep her in a canter, so now I'll exert. If I sense she's coming down from a canter, I'll put her back in. Just wanted to show you that. Then I'll bring the energy level down for a trot. And now we're still doing movement. Movement is just, say, if she goes to turn on me, I will have to switch hands and get her right back in the same direction. I cannot allow her to switch on her own. I'm directing the game here. For direction, I want to turn her. I'm going to do that in the same way, keeping her going. And then I'm going to switch my hands, my driving hand, whatever you got in that hand, your lead rope, stick and string, sturdy stick, whatever you want to call it. And I'm relaxed because she's doing what I want. So I'll switch hands, I'll point in the opposite direction, then I'll go in front of that driving line to change that direction within 3 to 5 seconds. So as we come to the top here, I'm going to switch hands with my driving line. I'm going to point, and then I'm going to exert pressure as required. Once she turns, and get her back into that trot. But once she turns, I take the pressure off. That's the teacher. As she goes to come in on me, I'm going to say no. I'm going to point, and again, exert pressure is required. So I'll give you an idea here where she wants to come into me, and I'm going to say no by pointing. Right there. So if I do this, go in front of her driving line a little bit, and watch this go to come into me. And I'll say, no, keep going. So my driving line there was basically telling her to slow down and stop. Again, I'll do the change in direction. It's simply switching your driving hand, pointing 3 to 5 seconds to get her to change direction, to go off your hand. I'll do it again. Switch hands, point in front of the driving line. A little kick there, a little objection. just ignore it or work it a little harder. She's in a canter, I'll bring it down to a trot. Make sure she's going in the right direction. Again, I'll do it one more time. Switch driving hands, point. She goes, relax. If she goes off your hand, stop, relax. You don't need to add pressure. Because what you want it to do is to go off your hand. She changes directions, you say, no, I didn't tell you to change. But now I will. Switch hands, I'll point. Pressure is required in front of the driving line. Good girl. You can use verbals as well to praise her. The pressure releases the praise as well as the verbal. Good girl. After we do movement and then direction turns, asking for that direction turn. Good girl. Then we do the hookup. A hookup, you're usually looking for lowering the head, licking the lips, inside ear on you. If you get one of those signs, she's ready for a hookup usually. Keep her in a trot. The reason we do trot and canter is because we want her to exert energy. We don't want her walking. We want to tell her we can make your feet move. And I should be relaxing here. I'm going to go in front of her driving line. And as soon as she looks at me with two eyes, I'm going to back off, telling her the pressure is gone and see if she accepts me as the leader. So right here, I'm going to back off, and you can see she just turned. And then the pressure comes off completely. And when she comes up to you, you tell her that is the correct answer. That is the hookup. This is the point where she says, you are my leader. I respect you because you've earned my respect by being able to move my feet. And so now she's saying, you are the leader. Now the follow-on is when she goes where you go. So she's saying, you're the lead mare, where do I need to go? And you say, you need to follow me. And so the herd mentality, the safety of the leader, is now in check. You can also teach them to walk, trot, and canter in a round pen and stop and face you with two eyes. This is also helpful for catch me training where they associate with you. Hope this helps.